Welcome back. Well, they're no strangers to this morning, but schema conditioning psychotherapists Nick and Eva Speakman now have their own show entitled, quite simply, The Speakmans, which sees them attempt to treat ordinary people with extraordinary problems.
We have a lady come and see us today who's got an OCD.
I pull my hair out and eat the root.
My phobia generally is people.
I'm 19 and I suffer from agoraphobia.
All I eat is chicken and bacon.
I've completely and utterly burnt my stomach.
We really are at a breaking point now. You've not grown up. Isn't it about time that you did?
Mum, get away from me.
Whoosh! Will you marry me?
Yes. Oh my God, they're taking off.
I can never thank you enough.
I owe them my life.
And Nick and Eva join us now, and it's so lovely to see you. We've seen firsthand the incredible work that you do, but this show is taking it sort of one step further, really, because we've seen you work mainly with phobias, but actually you're extending this and helping other people with all sorts of conditions.
We are, yeah. Post-traumatic stress disorder, self-harm, trichotillomania, which is hair pulling.
Yeah. OCD.
OCD, dermatillomania,
yeah.
And a host of anxiety disorders, because obviously you discussed that on the show yesterday. And one lady on the show has got an absolute fear of not only people, but her own family.
Really? Oh, my goodness me. So there's people in her family that she's... Well, the young ones, the grandchildren...
She's not even seen.
She's never met.
Grandchildren she's not even met.
And what's been wonderful about the show is that for the first time everybody's going to be able to actually see what we do, because obviously when we work on here, obviously the show's got to go on, so we get taken away, and as we will today, we'll be working away. But the show will actually show the whole process.
You were talking about something quite interesting with me earlier on. It's in the news today. It's discussing that people with type 2 diabetes could have access to surgery to help them lose weight. Type 2, I stress, not type 1, which of course has nothing to do with weight loss. It's genetic, you can't do anything about it. But you say that's not necessarily needed.
Well, you see, with our therapy, we look on the basis that everything starts with a thought process. You see, Wendy's had this problem for many years, and it started with a single thought.
And is that the same with weight?
Yeah, it is, because ultimately, no one's born being obese. So there's some thought process that's occurred during their life that's caused them to put the weight on.
And your hope is that by sort of people watching your show and by seeing the methods that you use, they can almost do it at home to themselves?
That's exactly what we would want. We want for people to watch the show and be able to take information from there, apply it to themselves, or even to other loved ones, because anxiety issues are most certainly on the rise. And that's what's been wonderful about the new show, is that it isn't just phobias, it's a variety of issues that so many people are affected with.
Well, as we were hearing yesterday with the young guy who emailed us and said that he had social anxiety and absolutely was destroying his life. Everything that his mates could do, he couldn't do, couldn't go out, no clubs, no socialising. And you're saying that this technique could get him out of the house?
Because ultimately, socially, in therapy tends to deal with symptoms, and what we're not interested in the symptoms. We know that people are suffering, and there's far too many people in this world suffering and making unacceptable situations acceptable. And what we want to look at is, what is the cause? Because no one's born with these problems, no one's born with anxiety disorders. There's always a cause, and that cause spirals out of control.
Well, that's every day for 4 weeks at the Speakmans. Good title.
Glued.
Monday.
Sorry, I'm telling you now.
Monday, it starts Monday at 2 on ITV, and in here is your latest case study. Poor Wendy, who's sitting here, she's got connected to a heart monitor, which is at the moment sitting at about 109 beats a minute, 110. This is ice. This is ice and snow, but it has extended so beyond that. Where did it start?
I had a fall 29 years ago when I was pregnant with my oldest son. I was about 7 months pregnant, fell over in the snow. And it's just escalated from there.
To what degree?
Any crunchy noises.
The sound that snow might make?
Yeah, anything that relates to the noise, the snow noise.
So there's certain things in your house that the kids can't eat?
Yep.
They can't have it around you? I mean, your social life, this is affected anywhere you go where somebody might have ice in a glass. You can't be anywhere near them. So it's impacted your life hugely. You nearly missed your wedding day.
Yes.
Because
they forecast snow.
And so you said, if there's snow on the ground, I'm not going to be there.
Over the phone or something. Oh, I wasn't going to go.
And your family has adapted to this, haven't they? I mean, they're all very good. Like you said, anyone who's got an extreme phobia like this, people do work around it, but it's not ideal. You're missing out on an awful lot of life.
Do you believe you can be helped with this?
I don't know.
Your heart rate is now up to 120.
You're shaking. I can see your fingers shaking.
When I was speaking to Wendy earlier, and she told me that she's had a lot of therapy already. So, again, if you have a lot of therapy and it's not successful, it also creates another schema that this might not work.
And a schema
is a cognitive thought process or a belief or a reference.
Look at your heart rate.
I know.
Maybe your heart rate is going up a little bit because you know what we're obviously going to talk about this a little bit more now. We don't surprise you with things. We've got to know how bad this is for you. We'll stop at any stage, and so we're not doing this for effect to make you cry or anything like that. If you're uncomfortable, we stop straight away. Now then, I've got behind really 131, and I don't know what's the safe point for us to stop. 140. So if you touch 140, we're going to stop anyway because that's just not safe. So. Behind here, I've got some ice. I've got ice in a glass, and I've got an ice lolly, and I know that that's a problem as well. Can I get up and go round to that? Yeah? Let me just walk round here to do that.
Remember, you don't have to do anything.
No.
All we're getting here is a gauge, just so that we know that eventually, hopefully later when you come out and you suddenly can do these things, that we know we've got a level. That's all.
So in my left hand, I've got a glass, and in that glass is some water and some ice. How are you feeling?
Scared.
Feeling scared? Is it OK for me to lift it out from behind the sofa?
Yeah, just don't jangle it.
Don't jangle it. OK, there is the ice in the glass. 137 was the peak there that we just saw. If I was to jangle that, then that would be the worst thing. It's the noise that would do it. OK, well, I'm not going to do that, then. I won't do that. What about, because, you know, obviously the whole family, ice lollies and things like that. Ice lollies a problem? Can I pick one up? Are you sure? 136, it peaked at there. Is it OK for me to lift it up? So there, one ice lolly. What would be the worst thing there? That ice lolly would be
biting it.
Biting it, of course, which
okay,
I won't
gone
do.
Up to 139
absolutely won't
now.
do. 139, and I think that's enough. That demonstrates exactly how bad.
Well done.
This is.
You've got to think that's the worst that's going to get now. That's it.
Done. And there is no way anybody watching can know how bad it is until they see the reaction. So you're done. Your heart rate is now peaking at 150, 155. Slow down, calm down. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. OK, there we go. Dropping down a wee bit. Good. You're done. It's all over because the next time you sit here, you'll be a different person. OK? And I know that you don't believe that, but you will be, and this is what they do. OK? All right.
You all right?
OK. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there.
Good luck. You've clearly got your work.
Can you sort this out? This looks like such a massive challenge.
It is a massive challenge because, as we can all see, this is huge and it's escalated and it's branched out into different areas. Yes, we are completely confident that we can help Wendy, not a problem. The only little thing is that we have only got an hour. We're going to do as much as we can in an hour, and obviously if we need to continue after that, then we will. But yeah, we'll make a massive difference to her.
We're watching your heart rate drop a little bit.
Go and get a
now,
cup
so
of
that's
tea.
good.
OK,
Thank you.
Things are calming down now.
Relax.
Welcome back. Earlier today we met Wendy, whose phobia of ice was so extreme she'd have to leave the room if Dancing on Ice was on the TV.
Not the only person. Well, after spending an hour with Nick and Eva Speakman, let's find out if she's any closer to overcoming that fear. How did you do?
Well, we didn't quite have an hour because when Wendy left the set, she almost passed out. We had to get the nurse.
Gosh.
So
Your
we've not...
heart rate hit 167, I think. So that's pretty high. It's 108 at the moment.
And are you feeling a bit better now, so your heart rate's much calmer? Good.
And how have you worked on this? What have you done?
Well, basically, 29 years ago, this is the length of time that she's had this fear, Wendy slipped on some ice, and she was pregnant at the time. And she thought, at that time, that she'd hurt the baby, and the baby might be dead, basically. So, in that moment, she has to make a decision. What is it that's caused this problem? Because if I survive this and the baby isn't dead, there's something wrong, then I need to avoid it in the future. And she blamed the ice, and she's had a fear ever since. Now, I asked Wendy, I said, did your baby die? And she said, no, perfectly fine. I said, so why do you want to carry on blaming the ice? Because nothing happened.
And how do you feel now?
A lot more at ease now.
Are you?
Yeah.
And do you feel you've got closer to overcoming some of the fears that we were showing you earlier on? And it's always exactly the same, because people, I was looking down my Twitter feed and people say, you're so cruel, you're so cruel, it's so cruel. You know what you're here for. Yep. You've asked us to do it, and there is no way that we can express how you guys work unless we show how scared you can be. And obviously this bit now, let's see whether or not you're in the same sort of situation. So I'm going to do exactly the same as I did before. At every stage of the way, I'll ask you if you want me to go any further, and at any point you tell me to stop. And we'll see if we can go further than we did the last time, because obviously there are other things here as well.
I have to say, already, you look like a different person sitting there. Your face has changed. You look lighter, like you just look like a weight's been lifted off your shoulder before you've even done anything.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Right, so you know what's behind the sofa? Yeah. I have behind here a glass of water with ice in it. Are you OK for me to take that out?
And last time you said don't move it around because you don't want to hear the ice.
Don't chink the ice. Can I chink the ice? OK, well, it won't chink because it's all frozen together, but that's the...
Why don't you bring it over?
Can I bring that over? OK. And there is the ice in the water.
Oh, my goodness
Your heart rate is staying constant. Behind here...
And you're actually smiling and sort of laughing.
Behind here, I have ice lollies. Can I bring the ice lollies out? You started to cry at this stage, and you said, you can hold it up, but please don't bite the ice lolly. Can I pick up the ice lolly? Yes. Can I bite the ice lolly? Thank you for that. OK with that
and
noise?
normally that noise would have been your big one, wouldn't it? That kind of ice, sort of that crunching ice. How are you feeling right now?
Are you feeling confused?
Yeah, yeah.
You feel confused?
Yeah.
29 years versus 1 hour.
Yeah.
You're bound to be confused.
It's absolutely amazing.
We sat down at the beginning of this show, before we came on air, and I said to you, you won't believe it. And you looked at me as if you were saying, without speaking out loud, I don't.
No, I didn't.
You don't believe that it could happen?
No.
We've got other tests now. It gets a little bit bigger, obviously. Just up here, we've got an ice-making machine. Are you OK for that?
Reveal. Ta-da!
So I'm going to walk over here and press the ice button. Yeah?
How are you? Your heart rate is absolutely steady. If anything, it's going down.
Yeah, it's gone down.
So, there you go. There's a glass of ice in front of you, which normally would have filled you with fear.
So then, obviously, to prove how far we can take this, and hopefully you're watching this and thinking this is astonishing, which is why we do the tests that we do earlier on. Otherwise, you know, we would never know how bad you were.
You can't fake someone's heart rate go through the roof,
Not
can you?
160 odd, you can't. Will she be able to tackle this? Wendy, are you prepared to step inside the cube? This is, in fact, a giant ice cube. It is made out of ice. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want to.
No, it's fine.
Are you sure? Yep. Right, OK. Well, you can take your heart monitor off, because you can't stretch that over there.
Well, there's not ice on the floor of it, but it's just the fact that it's completely contained and surrounded.
Right, so we go round the back, here, and this is, feel that, because that is made out of ice. And you are now... Don't go all the way because you get soaking wet through. So just about there. How do you feel? How do you feel now?
Fine.
You feel fine?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yes.
Would you ever have believed before you started this programme that this would be even remotely possible?
No.
Come outside.
No.
Come and sit with us.
Oh,
and your heart rate is about 117.
Well done. So that definitely is something you never ever thought that you could do.
Never.
Is this feeling of confusion must be a bit strange for you, because obviously something that was totally debilitating 2 hours ago now appears to be not a problem whatsoever.
Yeah, I can't. Finding it a bit hard to
to understand.
Yeah.
How much will this change your life?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you went to the pub, you were talking before that when you went out to the pub, people couldn't eat crisps because you had associated the sound of crunching crisps with crunching
Pork
snow.
scratchings, things like that.
Things like that. People couldn't have their glasses with ice in them, and so you went to a pub where they knew your problem and catered to it.
Yeah.
You can go to that pub this weekend and no one has to change for you.
And also, one of your greatest wishes was to be able to go and play in the snow with your granddaughter.
Yeah.
So now we are praying for snow, would you believe?
Not in July. Not in July. You'll have to wait for that. But you wouldn't have believed that it was possible.
No.
And you guys, we started off talking about your new show, which is on Monday.
It starts on Monday.
At 2 o'clock.
Yep.
And it's every day throughout the week.
On ITV.
And it's on ITV.
For 4 weeks.
For 4 weeks. And just the phobias is the tip of the iceberg,
It
as you
is.
say. You're looking at OCD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Self-harm.
Yeah.
Hair pulling, skin picking, a variety of different anxiety disorders.
Wow, it's
really.
incredible what you do.
When was the last
Huge
time you
fan.
had an ice lolly?
When I was little.
When you were little. Could you eat an ice lolly?
So I'd have gone for that one as well.
Yeah.
The red one. It's got to be, hasn't it?
Oh, my goodness me. Well done.